What are the top housing and financial planning trends impacting your business? Find out this and more with TrendSpotter, brought to you by CMPS Institute.
Welcome to another edition of TrendSpotter. My name is Gibran Nicholas. Today I would like to share with you how the skyrocketing growth in single-family rental units impacts individual investors. In fact, if you take a look at the chart on your screen, you'll notice that the recent growth of single-family rentals in the United States is unprecedented. In fact, the average annual growth in households who rent is growing by a whopping 900,000 units per year. That's over 5 times the growth of new renters in the early 2000s, and more than triple the annual growth of new renters in the 1990s. The interesting thing that you'll notice is that the bulk of the growth is taking place in the single-family rental market. That's great news for individual investors, because while large institutional investors have the advantage when it comes to big apartment buildings and large pieces of property, individual investors have the advantage when it comes to single-family homes, because they can become experts in the local market conditions and in the differences in the local neighborhoods and school districts. Now, when you're comparing loan options for individual investors, it's very helpful to use a calculator like the one in the CMPS Institute website. So if you take a look at this calculator, you'll notice that it is focused on helping the investor determine which of the loan options is going to give them better cash flow and a higher rate of return. So for example, if this investor pays cash for the $300,000 property, their closing costs might only be in the $2,000 range because they don't have the closing costs associated with financing the home. It's just the closing costs associated with purchasing the home. Let's say their monthly taxes and expenses are around $750 a month. The gross monthly rent, let's say, is around $2,000 a month. If they were to put 50% down, on the other hand, they're looking at a mortgage rate at, let's say, 4.25% with points of maybe 1%, closing costs of $6,000. If they put 30% down, they might be looking at a rate in the same range, 4.25%. Their closing costs might be higher because of those loan level price adjustments. If they appreciate that property at 3% over, let's say, a holding period of 84 months or 7 years, the house will be worth about $368,000 at the end of that time period. Let's say that their sales expenses are 9% when they sell the property. And so in this example, the investor would need about $302,000 cash to close with option 1 compared to $99,000 cash to close with option 3. Their monthly cash flow would be $212 a month positive with option 3 compared to $1,250 with option 1. But their rate of return is almost 2% higher with the lesser down payment because they're using leverage to increase their rate of return. Now, if they were to reduce their mortgage rate to, let's say, 3.5% by choosing, for instance, a 7-year adjustable rate mortgage, that increases their rate of return even more. And so that's why it's important when you're speaking to investors to not only focus on the differences in the closing costs and the monthly payments with the different loan products, but also the difference in the internal rate of return and how that might be able to impact their investment strategy over time. For more information on CMPS or any of the resources available through CMPS, please visit cmpsinstitute.org/simplify. I hope you found our time together today to be beneficial, and I'll look forward to chatting with you again next week.
Oh my gosh.
This is Mortgage News Network.